Hi everyone, my name is Danielle and you guys have joined us here today in the Children's Zoo. We are actually going to go in the swap shop. I have some really exciting things to show you today, so come on and follow me. All right, so we are here in the swap shop today, and first I want to say happy July to everybody. Here at the Houston Zoo, July is a really big deal. It is the kickoff of our Plastic Free July initiative, which is really exciting for us here. It's a global initiative where we all try to do our best to use less plastic, single-use plastic. So you guys can do things like that at home too by using recycled grocery recycled grocery bags, also using reusable water bottles as well. So today, though, the most exciting part of our day is that we're going to be showing off our brand new baby Tenrecs today. I have two of our keepers here with me today, Tiana and Russell. They are going to be hanging out with us. We're going to check them out. They're hanging out in their incubator right now, and they're going to pull them out because you guys came at a very exciting time. It is feeding time. All right. So if you guys haven't heard, we actually have 3 baby Tenrecs. They are about 2 weeks old. They were first born on Tuesday, 2 weeks ago. So they're still pretty young, but as you can see, they're very active and moving around. So we're going to take them out right now. Feeding time happens every couple hours for these little ones. So the one over here with Tiana, as you can see how small they are, but they all look very, very much the same. So we were able to mark them with a little bit of non-toxic paint. They just have little marks on them. This one over here that Tiana has, this is Blue, and little Blue is going to eat some formula today. These guys eat pretty often. They are adorable, but they are a ton of work. They eat every few hours, 24 hours a day. We started doing the feedings a couple hours after they were born. And just in the last 2 weeks, they've actually doubled in size. So they, believe it or not, are much bigger than when they were first born. Now, when you first look at them, I know the initial thought is, oh wow, look at that cute hedgehog. But believe it or not, these guys are not hedgehogs. They are called Lesser Madagascar hedgehog Tenrecs, but they actually are not related to hedgehogs. Biologically, they are very closely related to shrews, moles, and I think the biggest surprise to most people is that they are cousins of the elephant. Now, they've already started to show us their different personality. Each one of them has a different way of eating, some eat a lot faster, some eat a lot slower and take their time. The one that you're seeing over there is definitely a hungry one. That one really, really gobbles down all of her food really quickly. Blue likes to take her time. Now we are slowly trying to teach them to eat out of a dish, and that way they can start eating on their own. As tiny as they are, believe it or not, after a month, they're going to be starting to eat on their own, and we're going to introduce some solid foods. So Julie has a question. Where is Mom? That is a really great question, Julie. So Mom unfortunately passed away a couple days after she had them. We did have to do an emergency cesarean on her, and sometimes when things like that happen, there's complications involved, and unfortunately, she did not make it. Luckily, we were here to jump in and help take care of these little ones, and they've been really doing great. All right. Maria asked, why are they being fed like this? That's a very, very good question. So the syringe that you see, it kind of acts as a bottle. So an actual baby bottle would be way too big. The syringes allow us to be able to give them their food a little bit slower and more strategically. As you can see, one of them is kind of trying to eat from a dish, while the other one is being fed through a syringe. So this is kind of teaching them how to eat on their own. Stephen asks, where are they from? So lesser Madagascar Tenrecs are actually found in Madagascar, which is an island off the coast of Africa. These guys are super unique in the sense that Tenrecs are only found in Madagascar and some parts of Africa. Lesser Madagascar Tenrecs are not the only type of Tenrecs out there. There's actually about 30 different types of Tenrecs, but all of them you will find in Madagascar and Africa. Okay, ask how much do they weigh? That is a good question. So when the little ones were first born, they were about 10 grams in weight. And today they are double that size. So we weigh them every single morning to make sure that they're gaining weight and staying healthy. And today we weighed them all in around 20 grams. Jessica asks, how are they related to elephants? That's a really good question. So one thing that you can't see from the outside is there's a lot of things going on biologically inside that makes them related to elephants. Shrews and moles, you might be able to see a little bit of a resemblance, but basically the biological aspect of a tenrec is very similar to an elephant. Now these guys, if you see them walking around, they are arboreal animals. They are also really good climbers. So their hands can see them climbing around. They also have the ability to grasp, so they can climb trees. You might find them in nooks and crannies of different trees and hollows, but you also might find them in under the ground. Janet asked, when will they start eating insectivore diet and insects? Good question. They, like I said, they are on formula right now, and in about 2 more weeks, we expect to introduce some baby food to them. So a little bit more solid foods, just like you would do with your human child at home. They hit a certain stage in their growth, and they're ready for the baby food. And then comes the insects. So being an insectivore, we will definitely get them started on some mealworms, waxworms, all of those yummy insects that tenrecs love. Kristen asks, what are their names? So unfortunately, we do not have any names for them yet. We are definitely thinking of some really good names, though. With tenrecs, it is hard to tell whether they are male or female. So we haven't quite decided on names yet, but like I said, we are identifying them by the different colors that they have marked on them. So we have little blue, we have orange, and then we have yellow over there with Russell right now. Marina asked, do they have needles on their back? So they're not quite like quills, like what you would think a porcupine would have, but they're just some really, really tough hairs. Now, don't let them fool you. They aren't necessarily soft, and they are very good at using them into their defense. So if they feel threatened at all, what they will do is they'll roll up in a little tiny ball, and they can hurt a predator that way. And the predators typically will leave them alone, especially with all of those little sharp hairs on their back. Catherine asks, how long do they live? So typical lifespan in their natural habitat is going to be about 10 years. At a lot of zoo facilities, we see them live to be about 12, 13, or even 14 years old. Now, the formula feeds that we give them, we started off at every 2 hours, 24 hours a day. So that is around-the-clock care that we jumped in and started doing here in the Children's Zoo. All of our team and staff has been pretty amazing at all of this. It's been pretty incredible to see how we have all pulled together to help raise these little ones. They are a lot of work. It's a lot of eating, a lot of sleeping, and a lot of pooping. And we are there for it all, for sure. Every single day, they get an increased amount of formula based off of how much they weigh and how much they're eating for the day. Our vets assess that every single day so that we can make sure that they're getting all of the nutrition that they need. Heidi asks, are they nocturnal? They are nocturnal. So typical tenrecs are going to be a little bit more active at nighttime. With the amount of times these guys eat every few hours though. They more like take little naps. And I know there's probably some moms at home that can relate to that kind of care with their babies. Lisa asks, how big do they get? So the average size of a full-grown Tenrec is about the size of a really small kitten. As you can see, these guys still have a lot more growing to do. When they were first born, they probably were about the size of a tablespoon. You could fit them in a little tablespoon. As you can see, they've about doubled that size since then. Eva asked, will we be able to see them in the zoo? Eva, so these guys are very special. Mom and Dad are both ambassador animals here in the Children's Zoo, and that means they do not live in an enclosure where you can go see them. They actually come out for different keeper chats and different appearances throughout the day. So right now, you cannot see them at the zoo. This is why this is such a special appearance for you guys. We will wait till they get a lot bigger and to be able to debut them out as ambassador animals. But Dad, Jonah, lives here as an ambassador animal, and you might be able to catch him out on one of our keeper chats. Julie asked, does someone take them home to feed at night? Julie, that's a good question, because yes, I do. I take them home to feed them every night. A few of our team members do. We switch off nights so that none of us have to feed them a couple nights in a row. So yes, we do take them home because they need to eat every few hours. So they do get around the clock care. The good thing about the little incubator that they're living in right now, the incubator keeps their environment climate controlled, so it stays nice and warm for them in there, and then we can just take that home with us and all of their food and everything they need every night, and wake up every couple hours and feed them. Layla asked, how often do they poop? And that's a really good question. What goes in must come out, right? And these guys definitely have no problem doing that. Part of caring for them, and definitely in the beginning, they're getting better at it now, is stimulating them to go to the bathroom. And as you can see, Tiana is actually doing that right now. After they eat some of their food, we try to stimulate them. This is something that Mom might do. She might lick around their belly area, and that kind of gets them to get things moving in their tummy and gets them to go to the bathroom. I would say they poop every couple hours. So we help them out with that at first. This week has been a really great milestone for them because we're starting to see them pooping on their own in their incubator, which is really exciting. That means they're getting the hang of it, and we're doing a really good job. Chad asks, do they go underground? They can go underground for sure. These guys, like I said, are amazing climbers. They climb all over the place. They are built for it. They've got the little hands for it that can grasp. And also their nails help them hold on to even smooth surfaces. So typically their go-to is probably going to be in little niches and nooks inside of tree hollows. But they can go underground for sure. Viv asks, are they endangered? So they are not listed as endangered. They are listed as they're doing okay out there. The one thing about Madagascar, though, is you know, of course, they are always threatened by the deterioration of their environment. So deforestation and things like that, those are the places that they live, the places they need to survive, where they get all their food and insects. So that is always a concern when you're talking about a species that's from a special place like Madagascar. Catherine asks, how long will it take for them to be an adult? So like I said, about 2 weeks here, they're eating more formula. In another 2 weeks, we're going to be introducing some more solid foods. And hopefully very soon after that, they'll be eating on their own. Sean asks, does Jonah interact or live with the babies? No, he does not. He was part of the initial process with Mom, but after that, he's usually not involved. The males typically aren't involved in any of the raising of the young. Mom kind of goes off on her own. She has babies, she cares for them, and they grow up to be big, strong Tenrecs. The good thing about them is that they grow pretty quickly, being so small and on a big island where there's lots of predators. That's definitely an adaptation that a little animal like a Tenrec is going to need to have. So within a month, they're going to be kind of on their own, eating solid foods, and off to be adult Tenrecs. Ashanti asks, can they swim? That's a really good question. If you look at their feet, they're kind of made for climbing, but you can see that they're kind of spread out and a little bit webbed. There are species of Tenrecs that are aquatic. So there's different kinds of Tenrecs out there. Some are made for the water, some are not. These guys are more arboreal. Carly asks, can they make good pets? They don't make bad pets, but if you're looking for an animal that's similar to a hedgehog, like I said, they're not really hedgehogs. Their behavior is a little bit different. They typically are nocturnal, so they'll be really active for most of the night and might keep you up at night. So for somebody that likes to sleep at night, I don't think they make great pets. You can see this little one kind of moving around a little bit. So it's really great to see them moving around a little bit more. And as they've gotten older, they've gotten so much more sturdy on their legs. They were a little wobbly at first. It was pretty cute to see, but they've kind of gotten the hang of it now. They've also gotten the kind of spines that they have on their back. They've gotten a little bit harder too. So it's just been so great to see them kind of grow up and get bigger. If you guys, we're going to be posting a blog out here today that has a little bit more information about them too, so you guys can feel free to check them out. Check out the blog, and it's got a lot of information about them. Kristen asks, do they have bad eyesight? That is a great question. Yes, they do. They don't have the best eyesight. They're gonna, if you take a look at their face right there, you can see them moving their face around no matter where they go, and that's because they're using their sense of smell, and those little whiskers on the front of their face is going to help them navigate and find out where they need to go. It's also a really great resource for them to be able to hunt down insects. They use that sense of smell, but they do have really poor eyesight. So the ones you're looking at right now, this is yellow and orange. They're both are really, really quick eaters. So now they're getting some exercise with Russell over there and moving around. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited you guys were all here. Tune in next Wednesday for another Facebook Live. Like I said, it is Plastic-Free July, so we are going to be doing lots of fun things with Plastic-Free July, things that you guys can do at home, things that we're doing here at the Houston Zoo to help create a more plastic-free environment. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day.